every principle that we have, to every yeah, it's pretty intense. I'm not our video analyst who I was working with last year.
I'm laughing because gone are the days the little assistants were on the sideline with their paper, like, okay, Pam, touch the ball, 1, 2.
Yeah, no. It's weird. It's weird to have a coach nowadays with pen and paper. It's all iPads and stuff on the bench, and the analysts up in the booth, and they're coding the game live and sending it down to the bench. And yeah, I mean, when we get the game after, and we have the game right after we're done, right? It's on our computers and ready to go, and it's fully tagged, and it's ready. So you can go to a certain person's clips, everything. You can go to a certain type of action. All of our final third entries, everything is just right there for you. So it's definitely streamlined, but it's a lot of work getting to learn these programs.
Wow.
So what do we got going on right here? What's going on here?
Yeah. So one of my responsibilities, like we were speaking about, you kind of asked me to put together something, but is as I handle our opposition research. So I pretty much put together presentations for the rest of the staff to start discussions about the weekend. So I think our staff, Bradley, our head coach, is amazing in culminating conversations and getting ideas and having a real kind of team atmosphere here. And so I just kind of put stuff together and it goes from there with conversations. So this right here is just kind of an example of what I would put together for the staff. As far as games that I watch, so I watch the past 3 games, and then I watch any game that's relevant to what we would do as a club. So there's some games where I would watch a team 3 times because they don't really play many teams that do things that we do, or I'd watch a team. I watch 10 games from a team. It all depends on who we're playing. So I'll come up with their strengths or weaknesses, how we're going to combat that, which is the slide you're looking at. I watch every goal that they score and that they give up. I log what time of the game, what the action is, home and away. So we, if we're playing, so we have Austin here this weekend. So how are they different on the road as opposed to at home? And so all that stuff's logged and cataloged, and I put it in a video presentation. So I do the 3 lineups. I'll do this one. If you go to the kind of the next one,
yeah.
If I'll do the league table and their past results. And then it'll get into more of the data stuff. We don't have.
Wait, hold on. Wait, getting more into the data stuff? I feel like I'm already in the data.
It's like money. It's like Moneyball.
It really is. I never thought about it. I never thought it. I love that movie, right?
I love that movie too, but it makes so much sense if you think about it.
It does. So I mean, this is just kind of a graphic that shows, our opponent based on, our opponents, where they are in the league. And then I'm not going to tell you what team this is, but in their comparison to either us or the rest of the league, depending on what we want to look at that particular week. So we'll look at that kind of their in possession, out of possession stuff. And then
Mitch, we create really quickly, Mitch. I just have a question. How long does one of these things take to put together? Just something as simple as the data of in possession to out of possession.
Yeah, so I mean, we're lucky enough that we do have a stat provider, but to put together everything, and I don't use I use the data that's going to help us on the weekend, and so to filter through all that information to make this whole packet probably is about 3-4 days of work, along with the clips that I put together for, and then, I put together probably about 15 minutes of clips to show the staff. And that gets whittled down to about 4 minutes, 3.5 to 4 minutes of actual running clips to show the players. So out of 10
hold
games,
on, Mitch. And you're also doing.
Hey, everybody out there, you still want to be a coach?
I mean, Mitch, I'm honestly thinking and you're also you're also helping run sessions on the field too.
Yeah. I mean, last year.
This is like a Scared Straight program for young coaches. It's
yeah. Exactly, but I mean, you get into it and you love it. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing anything. And you start to develop systems that help you. You know, I started to become. I kind of had my own workflow, and I realized how to do things and how to work. So, and I realized what my head coach wants, right? So that makes it a lot easier. I'm not, I know how we play. Um, I've been doing this for a year now, so most of the teams play the same. Yes, there's nuances and things that we got to figure out, but for the most part, yeah, it's a lot of work, and luckily I have a wife that still is married to me.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
that's
reading it.
the most.
Um,
So these are where
the
your
mo-
goals against came from.
yeah, so this
20
is this
20
is
in
the
open
opposition.
play. Right. So this is
So
the
this is
opposite.
opposition. Yeah.
20 in open play, 2 in transition, corner kicks, gave up 5.
hmm Yeah.
Got it.
So for instance, like
Off a goal kick.
yeah. There, I'm not gonna tell you what team this was, but it was
What the hell?
it was a goal.
happened?
It was a goal kick that it was a goal kick that went over the back line and they were in on goal. But so for instance, like people that are looking at this, if I didn't watch any video, right, and I just had this packet sitting in front of me, like if I'm one of our staff and I hadn't watched any games and I say, okay, how are we going to attack this opponent? I'd be like, well, we need to get the ball wide and serve in crosses and get cutbacks and dominate these wide areas because 11
Right.
of the open play, 11 of the open play goals that they've let in, what more than half are from crosses and cutbacks, and
Right.
that's just what I defined a cross and a cutback, right? That might not be the stats on Opta and all these places might have more because I'm a lot more condensed in what I would call a cutback or a cross. So
And you could
that
look
number
at
is
it,
probably a little bit low.
and you could look at this like, okay, they're not susceptible in transition.
hmm
Out of the 32 goals, they only let up 2 goals in transition. But on corner kicks, that's 5 goals out of 32. So you could take advantage, obviously, of the corner kicks and stuff. So I get it.
Yeah.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like in transition, we're a transition team. So if they're not letting up a lot in transition, that means they're compact.
Right,
They're around the
exactly.
ball when they have it. So that means that we need to concentrate on connecting the first pass, securing it in transition, and then attacking rather than immediately going. So these are things that we look at through the week as well.
Yeah, and you can tell us, like you said, I don't know who you're talking about, and I haven't seen any of the clips, so I
Mhm.
totally get it. From an
Yeah,
analyst point of view, Mike.
exactly.
I want to bring this up, Mitch, because one of the things people are looking at all this stuff and they're like, wow, this is really, really daunting. But there's like a lot of like programs out there that can help young coaches like learn this process and how to develop their own kind of their system and their methodology to kind of do this work. Like you took a course for the FA, right? On something similar?
I took a scouting course through the FA, just kind of when I was doing the scouting stuff. So not quite. It was more of actual like player recruitment scouting, not like not team tactical scouting. This was kind of all, and I'm still learning. I mean, like I said, our analyst, he's amazing. And he teaches us all the time, and I just kind of piggyback off of him. But and our head coach has been doing this for a while, and he came from the Red Bulls, which is very, very data driven. So we try to, he tries to teach me as much as he can, and I think at least I hope it's rubbing off. But I mean, for instance, like PPDA, just kind of the people that are out there that was wondering, it's passes per defensive action. So they allow the 18th most in the league, right? So we're talking about they're not good in transition because they're compact. Well, it shows that they're compact because they let you have the ball. They let you have the ball. They let you pass it around because you get on an average 12 passes before they make a defensive action. So, it's kind of as it's going, as Bradley is flipping through this, he's starting to realize before even clips are shown on the okay, this is the type of team we're playing, and then it's like a storyboard, right? So can I create the story to put it into their heads about this is the type of team, and then back it up with visual clips?
Oh my God, I love that. It's like a head exploding moment for me, Susk, right there. It's like, because the thing is, it's like, this isn't just, did your head explode, Saskia?
You and your head exploding moments.
I mean, come on, I mean, I have them every episode. It seems like all these amazing guests that we have on, like Bill Reno, for instance, the one and only Bill Reno.
How we doing?
Hey, Bill.
Good, man.
Yeah,
Dude, I saw you sent a text when I woke up and said, "Oh, I'll see you in like 20 minutes." I'm like, "Wait, what? What's going on here?"
Oh man, I got on like 11 o'clock my time. I was like, "Where are these guys?" And then I got into it, like, "Oh, that's on me. That's on my end." So, yeah, no worries.
My gosh, that's amazing. Are you in DC right now?
Still in DC. Yep. So I've been here for 2 years, not counting the summer I took out into Cincinnati. So.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we will let's get this going. Guys, if you're watching this right now, we are about to start the one and only Bill Reno. We're going to be doing an MLS and NWSL early season report card on the goalkeepers and everything that we're seeing so far with goalkeepers. Basically, we're just preparing Saskia for the weekend is what we're doing.
I don't need so much information in my head. I'll have a head exploding moment.
Oh my gosh.
I've been up since 6. I already had a coach's call. I have one at 11:30. So I'm gonna have to leave you guys.
All right. Here we'll get going. Here we go. Well, inside the 18, I'm Michael Magid, live from Hollywood, California. With me, getting ready to get on a jet plane and get ready for all the wonderful action in the NWSL this weekend. The one and only 99 World Cup winner, Saskia Weber. And joining us to talk a little goalkeeping, talk a little MLS, talk a little NWSL, the one and only, you know him as Everybody Soccer or Let's All Soccer, depending on which social media platform you're on. Bill Reno, everybody. Bill Reno making his 19th appearance on the podcast.
I think Bill has the 5-timers club now. I've got to that tier. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we should give something. We should
Yeah, we should.
It's like
we actually should. We should send him a hat, send him a sweatshirt or something like that. We definitely.
I totally agree.
Need to know.
I'll take it.
It's 5-timers club, and then like 10, and then like 50. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, at some point it's money. You start sending me money, I'll take it.
There we go. So, Bill, before we get into today's topic, and I think it's going to be a really fun one, and obviously it's based a lot on, you've been doing a lot of YouTube videos in regards to what you're seeing in different trends with goalkeeping and different rankings of goalkeepers and everything, obviously on your blogs. Tell us what's been going on with you lately.
Yeah, so I was just watching the run-in here with Mitch. I don't know if that was the most recent episode y'all did, but it kind of dawned on me a bit that we've entered this era of goalkeeping that there's all this data and stats driving into it that for me it's really similar to when computers started beating humans at chess, where like now there were like right and wrong answers, and so we've kind of entered this era of like, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is the most effective thing. So been kind of fun diving into that and putting some videos out and just on my own, just kind of watching and seeing where the game is. Because for so long it was just kind of like, go figure it out, go through brute force, through will. You don't really hear the phrase pressure training anymore. So it's I think we're in a new era. So it's been fun to dive into all that.
Oh, I would absolutely still have pressure training sessions. That's mentality.
Yeah,
100%.
That's fair. Yeah.
You need those check-ins every once in a while. You need to go old school.
Well, no, I think you are like the game's in this interesting spot where like if you swing too much into the data, then like you have this paralysis by analysis, and you can't, you get stuck. And so there needs to be this balance, but it has been interesting of seeing these like ebbs and flows in the game, and especially from the coaching side as well. So.
But Bill, you just
I liked what he said in regards to, this is for the coaches, and this isn't something that we overload the players with. It's for the coaches to kind of understand what we need to focus on in training, the why and everything, instead of, overwhelming somebody with so much data, so much analysis that it's really for the coaches.
Yeah.
And I love what you just said right there, Saskia, because that's so massive. I mean, I just think about in regards to like when I speak to a lot of people in regards to who watch the show, whether they're young players or parents or anything like that, I always like to give the context. Like, we have episodes that are very coach centric. We have episodes that are more player centric in regards to mindset, in regards to them breaking down their own actions and different principles that they can use on and off the field. You need to be able to understand the difference. And you can learn from each episode, regardless of whether you're a player, a parent, or a coach, but you got to understand the context of the why this information is being given.
Right.
Because you are correct. Sometimes I will go back and watch an episode and I'll be like, this would be very overwhelming for a youth player to show this to them. And then I realize, oh, they'll never see this. This is for your own information to set up your own sessions. Well, Bill, I know that Saskia's got a little bit of a time constraint here, so we're probably going to hop right into it. But before I do that, just want to mention a few things for everybody out there. First off, guys, if you are watching this right now on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all those different places, you're watching a 10-minute preview of Inside the 18. If you want to keep watching the show, you got to go to the Union GK app, Union GK Community on Apple or Google Play stores, or go to the uniongk.com for more information. You'll find out how to join. You can watch the show for free on the platform. You don't need to pay for a subscription. There is a free trial. You can just do that and you can keep watching the show. Again, a lot of great stuff going on there. Shout out to everybody I've been mentoring. One of the mentees that I've been working with, Zach, he's in a situation right now, guys, where he needs some size 15 boots. And he's Nike he's having trouble. So if anybody out there has a link to get some size 15 boots.
What size gloves does he wear?
Probably a 13. And if any college coaches are listening and heard that already, take that into consideration.
And how old is he?
I think 15, 16.
I knew you were going to say 15. I'm like, oh, holy moly.
Yeah.
I think we have to
shout
call
out to Zach
and find out where he got his custom shoes from.
But hopefully you can help him out. So DM him on the Union platform. He's on there right over there, guys. And help him out if you can, or contact at insidethe18media.com and we'll try to help him connect him as well too. Also, last thing before we get into the topic, Saskia, we're actually got some big news coming. We have huge news coming up for Inside the 18. We can't divulge all the information yet, but we just want to get you primed that Inside the 18 will be making some changes. As you know, we have joined the Union GK community on an official capacity, but we also are going to be expanding. There's going to be a lot more content than you guys are used to. The production value is going to go up. Maybe even better microphones, better cameras. Who knows? Maybe even a studio. I don't know. But we can't announce it just yet, but be ready because it's a very big announcement and we're going to be working with some top names out there. And we're going to be having collaborations with celebrities. It's going to be really cool.
Believe us, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, believe us, it's going to be huge. Exactly.
You like that?
I like it. It may or may not be on a television screen coming to you very soon. So let's get into the topic though, guys. Let's get into the topic. Today's topic is MLS and NWSL season early season report cards. Bill, first off, why is it important for coaches at this stage of the pro season to start taking stake on where they're at about 4-6 weeks in?
Well, ideally, you're on a track, right? You have some sort of long-term focus, long-term project with things, and not just kind of like, okay, well, who's up this weekend? So making sure you're on that track, making sure things are going that way. When it comes to start making changes and stuff, or when you're thinking of who's going to be the number one, like there needs to be something farther thought out than just like, oh, we have a game this weekend. This person looked good in training. Like those days need to kind of be erased, especially at this level. So it's part of a bigger picture, ideally.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing it's the beginning of the season, and I think you're seeing that be figured out in real time in a sense, with changes. Like even if you take Angel City going from Anderson to Harachich, you're seeing it with Gotham bringing in the German legend. Burger. So you're seeing changes that will happen there, and it's the beginning of the season, and this is when you do want to make those changes, and you might have two number ones. Talk to the coaches at Angel City and stuff like that. All intents and purpose, Harachich and Anderson are two number ones. So you got to figure it out. But I agree with you 100%, Bill. There comes a time when that rhythm has to happen for a goalkeeper as well. And do I think like one game to the next? No, you might see 2 or 3 games, but eventually I think all teams will settle into a starter. They need to.
Yeah. You don't want to bounce around too much there, because then you're just it's easier for goalkeepers to kind of start either infighting or getting in their head or losing that track rhythm. Like it's
and you don't want your keeper playing not to make mistakes.
Right.
To make sure they're playing next week. It's the last thing. It's the last thing in the world you want.
Yeah. But by the way, Sisk, we can hear you rocking in your chair.
I know. I have this. There's this funny because when I'm in a swivel chair, I'm in a different chair. I do that, and I'll tell you during one of my calls last year for NWSL, I was doing it, and I had a swivel chair, and I didn't realize it, but my headphone was slowly getting wrapped around the swivel chair, and it got yanked out of the call. I was off air. We're trying to untwist it. I have a tech on the ground, like untwisting it. So sorry.
Cool. No worries. So, Bill, what are some of the trends you're seeing in both MLS and NWSL? 4 weeks in.
Well, I think the big thing for me, and this isn't really new for either league, but it's mainly just like, can you keep your team competitive? Like the teams don't need goalkeepers to be making every save, every immaculate moment. I think probably the best example for me is you look at Hugo Lloris coming in, and if you didn't know he was a Premier League keeper coming in, like I think it'd be tough for just a random person to spot it, just because what's being asked of him. I mean, he's playing in the snow, like things. I mean, the goals that get scored on him at times are like kind of clunky and more MLS and less EPL-y. So it's that sort of thing of like, can you keep your team competitive? Can you not throw the ball in the net, essentially? Does the team feel good with you playing back there? I think Brad Stuver is another one I point to, and I think Cassie Miller has been another one as well, that like she's done what's been asked of her. Has it been amazing? I wouldn't say so, but like she keeps her team competitive. That's why she gets chances on the field. That's what will keep you getting traction. Then later in the season goes, and then hopefully you're playing your best at that point.
Cool. Yeah. So that's good. Anything you want to add?
I feel for me it's a negative actually, and it's every team right now is trying to build out of the back, and deep out of the back, and you're seeing really sloppy play, and you're seeing really dumb turnovers, putting your team under pressure. And it's happening across the board. It's happening with every single keeper right now. Now, look, I was thinking about this going like, okay, how many like successful passes does a field player make? But basically I'm feeling like, I feel like some of the teams are pigeonholing their keepers, saying, this is how we're going to play. This is what we're going to do. And not allowing them to think, no, you know what? This has failed twice. I'm going to bypass some lines now. We have to change this up. I've got to get the attack off my defense's shoulders. They're just waiting for us to make a bad pass. And you're seeing it time and time and time again. So there's got to be some give and take here with the teams.
Yeah. Well, and I think, sorry, Michael, I think part of it's okay. Just assessing, like, can your keeper do it or not?
Exactly.
That's a pretty negative way to look at it. I understand. However, if you're setting, it doesn't matter the keeper, whatever position. If you're setting them up to fail, I mean, what are you doing? So there's times to play and there's times to not. But if you have a keeper who really struggles to understand the spacing and this, I mean, on one hand, they may not should not be out there in the first place. But also, if they have to play, maybe they have other things about their game that are really, really sharp. Like, try to lean into those as much to keep your team competitive. But if you're, asking someone to do something they can't do, then, it's the same. If your team's not good on crosses, like, don't cross the ball,
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of Bill and Suska, I know you got to roll out of here, really quickly, but I just want to ask you, before we end this free preview and move on to all the really good stuff here, how do you feel like early on international breaks affect the rhythm of a team with their goalkeeper? Because like you're literally talking about two leagues that like started and then there's like international break 2 weeks later. And it's like, well, we don't really didn't get a chance to get a rhythm before all of a sudden all our players are, in Asia and Europe and all that. So
I think it's affected teams as a whole. And I think on the NWSL side, you've obviously seen that. And I can't remember who it was. It was North Carolina and that they've had like 9 full team practices, like, or something weird. Like, I think that's taking out, I don't even think that's taking out preseason, but it was like some weird stat. And it's just like, there needs to be some consistency. And I don't know, do I think that international break 3 games into the season was good? No, I don't. And now you have another one coming up again. And then you have another one in July. And so it's like, there needs to be some consistency and some rhythm here. I think it affects the keepers right up to the forwards. It's affecting everybody. You're seeing it. You're seeing, the NWSL, every game's competitive. Every game, it doesn't matter if you're at the bottom of the table or the top, it's a win or lose every game. So, but you're seeing it affect that. I think 100%. And you're seeing it with injuries too.
Yeah. I think as a fan, the whole fall to spring schedule versus spring to fall, like it may not, you think, oh, what's the big deal? Like this is actually one of the things that absolutely, like, for teams that are on the fall to spring schedule, like whatever, they're in their spring, they've got their rhythm, they're fine. But yeah, I didn't know that about the 9 practices for North Carolina, whoever it is, but that is crazy to hear.
With the full squad. Like,
no, that as well. I want to say that USL Super League, they're going to do fall spring. I want to be the first person back on to talk about that league because I'm excited to see it.
I can't wait for that league.
Yeah.
Maybe some exciting announcements to come on that as well. But I can't wait for that league, and I can't wait because they're going with the European style. They're not doing a draft. They're doing it the way and look, a draft, we can get onto that. Another thing, drafts is an American thing and everything like that. I like no drafts. Go pick your players. Everybody's a free agent. So, and then it's fall to spring, which will be great as well.
Yeah. But Susk, without a draft, how can you spend 4.5 hours nitpicking a child who's played like 4 games of college soccer
for like a school I've never heard of or watched in my life before? And how do I get a 400 person list and try to know every single player? Yeah. Good question.
So Bill, tell us a little bit about Kelly at the University of Delaware. What
who do you think helps me during the draft? Who do you think is emailing me? You think I'm kidding? I'm like, Bill.
It's a team effort, goalkeeper.
It's a team effort. Yeah.
Oh man. We're hold on. We got a comment coming in right here. Someone goes, "Am loving it." Okay. George, please let us know where you're watching the show from. And that's a great note right there, George, to let you know you are watching on YouTube, which means this free preview is up. So if you want to keep watching, go to the uniongk.com, guys. Union GK community on Apple or Google Play stores. The link is pinned on Instagram right now. It's in your Facebook right there. Go to that link. You can keep watching. For the rest of you guys on the Union, we will continue on. Okay, Bill, how does the whole trend of XG affecting how goalkeepers are playing right now in these leagues?
Yeah, I think the way it's affecting most is in the off season. I think it's really tough after 3 or 4 games. I mean, you need a large enough sample size. I'm sure there's some places making some knee-jerk decisions off, well, this XG on this is that. I'm not going to say that there isn't, but for most places, I think there's still a bit of like awareness of like, what is XG? What is it